the podcast to meet the person behind the character, presented by Teddy and Ryan. Tonight's guest,
ChrissyDocc!
on Chatting OOC.
Hello and welcome to Chatting OOC. Usually my name would be Teddy and his name would usually be Winston.
But since we're chatting OOC, my name's Ryan and his name's Ross.
And for today we've got one half of the owners of Scorer Network, Chrissy. How you doing, my man? You alright?
We're doing good. Be yourself.
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Good man.
I'm just saying that to Ryan earlier on. This is when 1,000 people are watching, and then about 10 people leave because they're like, "Oh, that's what Chrissy looks like now. I'll see you later."
Yeah, that's definitely what's going to happen, man.
Definitely, man.
Right, me up, man. I've been worried about my chins all night. Like, try to get a good angle on it. Like, is it this man?
There with a snoot.
I should have actually. That's a good idea.
And he can't go too high because he sees the receding hairline. So,
Aye, I know, man.
well,
Yeah.
fuck that.
That's what I'm hiding that. Look.
So, Chrissy, how old are you?
10 years ago.
10 years
I'm
ago.
30, mate.
30. We're getting older and older here, man. I'm going to meet somebody that's the same age as me at some point. I'm 34 next. I'm 34 next month,
34.
man.
I'm only 28.
I'm
So.
sure Mango's in the ladies with you, actually.
I think I'm the oldest guy in Scorer.
No, you're not.
Nah,
no.
definitely no.
No, I must be fucking up there. I need to start a pensioners club somewhere.
Whereabouts are you from, mate?
Originally from Maryhill. Grew up in Maryhill all my years till I was in my 20s. And then I met my missus, got a first flat together. And then after a couple of years, moved up to Malton, which isn't too far from Maryhill anyway.
No,
That's pretty cool. So you've been at Mountain for a while then?
Aye, 6-7 years now, I think.
7 years. It's one place I don't think I've ever went through. It's Mountain. Don't think so.
I had a lot of tax hires up there when I done it.
See, I'm at the
Yeah,
front of
well,
Malton, no, I'm no like in the
No.
in the gutters.
And the dregs. And the dregs are Mountain.
So, just going for being from Malton and all that. So, next question is, what type of work is it? You've been also, we know that you do a lot of the scorer side of things now, but what type of work apart from that do you do?
You talk about what I've done in the past, or
Aye, in the past, aye.
when I was 16, I was a tyre fitter for McConaughey's in East End, just across from Celtic Park in Bowden Street. Done that. I get a sack for being late by 2 minutes.
Oh, that's perfect.
Genuinely, because the boss was a sergeant major in the army. So he was
Right,
like
okay.
Fuck's sake.
that time keep carry on, you know what I mean, or that jazz. Left that, ended up going to college, did mechanics, eventually shot that, just got fed up with it. Unemployed for a few years, being a bad boy or that carry on. Ended up, got a job on the building sites, doing the fire sprinkler systems.
Aye.
Yeah.
I've done that for 3-4 years, I think it was. I've done that on the building sites all the city and all up and down Scotland, you know what I mean? I'm breaking Dundee or that carry on Edinburgh. It's a really good job, but in the winter, man, what a nightmare that was.
Freezing, man.
Cold pipes, you know what I mean?
Oh, aye.
You got it with steel pipes, you know what I mean? It was freezing, honestly.
Aye, fuck that.
Left that to then go work for Virgin, so I was engineer for Virgin. They installs people's switches, installing broadband and all that stuff. That was a good job, but honestly, working in all your posh parts of the city and stuff like that was horrific. People don't want to
That's
see
snobs.
cables, things like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was going to tell you earlier on about my cables, man. I had to
It was, aye.
see and all that because it was doing my hiding.
Honestly, posh people are a nightmare, man, for it. So they were.
I'm not posh.
Obviously, no, I'm not saying you're posh, but like,
No.
like people with big hoosies, you know what I mean? Like, obviously,
Aye.
People
What,
that are
everyone
more
hidden?
privileged and
Aye.
everyone hidden, you know what I mean? One cables
me-
are packed round outside of the house and under
Aye.
flares and all that.
I remember when I first moved into my first house that I stayed in, the person got Virgin put in, and the wiring was just round the doors, just fucking round the doors, not a hole through the wall, fucked it through the doors. It's like 95 length of fucking 95 meters worth of cable, just running right
And
through the
that's
whole
what
house,
it's like
man.
that's what it's like in the closes are all like that. Yeah, I done installs like that as well. It's horrific doing it, but there's no other way you can do it because you're not going to like rag it in the wall because that's not a job, you know what I mean?
Aye.
Yeah, it's true.
My old flat was like that. My old flat, you had with all in the doors and all that. It was a fucking nightmare.
Aye.
We'd moved
My
in, and it was
first
already
flat-
like that.
My first flat that I moved into, there was four Virgin cables coming into one hole. Like it must have been like early years, people would go like Virgin put in and they must have just been putting new lines in. There was like four coming into one door. Like, what the fuck's going on here?
Right. Well, going for that, obviously, this is predominantly like because of gaming and stuff like that. So we'll start off. We've asked everybody that's been on. What was the first console you had?
PlayStation 1.
What's a
PlayStation
PlayStation
I can
1?
remember.
Right,
PlayStation 1 I can remember.
right. I had you doing as a SNES boy. Like I said to Ryan earlier, he's a SNES boy.
There
I can
might be
feel
a
it.
possibility, but I don't remember that far back.
Right. So
I always
PlayStation
remember, I
1.
remember when we got the PlayStation 1, it came out with it's the first Grand Theft Auto, and my big brother was jealous that I got it. I can always remember that and Crash Bandicoot. They were
Crash
just
Bandicoot, man.
They were the days, man.
Aye.
What a
What a
fucking
game.
game that was.
So GTA has always been probably your favourite game then?
by far, even for the very first one.
Yeah.
If you're way back then, PlayStation 1, GTA 2, the way you're now with things, but also we're going to go into that. But it's not so GTA is just the predominant game for everybody in it. Like, all the
It's
levels.
crazy. That's
Fucking nuts, man.
even for younger ages, you know what I mean? Like, even though it's an 18+ game, everybody plays it regardless, you know what I mean?
Aye,
Like,
definitely.
no matter the age.
I remember trying to buy San Andreas when I was like 13. To try to get my brother to go in and get it, and try to get my ma to go in and get it, and like we were going up. There was Virgin in the Toon, a Virgin store. I don't know what it is. now.
I know what you're talking about. You talk about the one next
Aye.
to Virgin Ideas now, the big massive
Aye,
one.
aye.
Aye.
Gone in there, trying to buy it, getting told to fuck off and that. Get out, fucking idiot. No, it's 18 plus. Oh, fuck. Aye, mental man. So, your PlayStation 1, I'm guessing PlayStation 2. Were you Xbox at any point?
I did get an Xbox, so when I think when with primary 6, I think I'd always wanted a PC. It was never a gaming PC. It was just like I think it was like Windows 98 or some shit. My dad got us a PC, but obviously back in the days you couldn't really do much with them. So I think it was PS1, and then I don't know if the PS2 was it, but it was did have that, and it was PS3, and then I wanted a 360 when the 360 came out. I got that. Very rarely ever played it. I actually get still my dad's loft, to be honest. You're lucky if there's even like 100 hours on that, to be quite honest.
Fuck's sake.
Got that. Never really bothered Mars with it. The only time I ever touched it actually was in PlayStation Network. Got hacked. I don't know if you remember that.
I went down
When
for
it was
ages.
in
Aye,
for like
aye.
months, wasn't it?
Aye.
I don't remember that.
I
I
did
must be
then.
too
It's
young for that.
predominantly mainly PlayStation, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
even
That's
Game
just-
Boys and that, I was never really into things like that. My brother was, but I never was, you know what I mean?
No. That's the same as me. I've always been pretty much PlayStation. I've seen a couple of weeks ago, I got an Xbox just to play one game, and then I got my granny to take it back. That's the only time I've ever had an Xbox, honestly, that's true. So, which obviously we've delved into it, and I think we know the answer already, but is GTA your favourite game then? Aye.
Not really so much anymore. Five
No?
games kind of put me off it, to be
Right.
honest. No, but I think it's just the repetitive of it just now. Like, obviously, you probably know I don't play so much anymore, but I think
Aye.
it's more it's like one of these things, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, but you play it so long and you enjoy it, and then it just becomes a point where maybe it's because the fact that obviously they know the modern side of it. It's
Yeah.
just become a bit repetitive for me because I'm constantly doing it, you know what I mean? But
Aye.
I mean, I still do like it, but I wouldn't say it's my favourite game anymore, you know what I mean?
It's
I don't have a favourite game.
I think
It's all too much.
especially like somebody like yourself who's constantly dealing with the situations of GTA and mods and stuff like that. It's kind of like being a baker and like eating your own donuts all the time. At one point, you just
Aye.
get fucking sick of it. I
Aye,
mean,
you want somebody
you
else's
just want
donuts.
something else. Aye, exactly. Like, I
That's
mean,
a
like,
heavy, weird analogy, but you're
aye,
right.
but yeah, I mean, like, like just having the same thing over and over and over again.
It's the same,
No.
innit? I see it the same as like you need a wee break sometimes for it because even when before 5M and all that, don't know if you're the same, or maybe this is just me, but playing GTA, I used to just play it, fuck around for about fucking an hour or two, and you get bored of it. You would never do the missions. Like you do the missions one, and you get bored of it, 2-3 missions maybe, and then get bored of it. I'd see me driving about, fucking about, spawning in shit and just blowing shit up and all that, getting chased
Aye,
after polos. It does
mad.
get that way sometimes. Obviously, as you're saying, you've done all the work on it with like you own the server and all that now as well along with Ryan. So it must get a lot for you. Like you're having to do everything in the background and stuff, and then you can only try and roleplay a bit, and it must get a bit repetitive. And you've done it for how long? How long have you done it for?
What? I think I've played 5M 2 and a bit year now, I think it is. The first iteration of server I made was probably March 2019. I think. When the first lockdown struck, basically, that's when I was.
Right.
Mhm.
That
So-
was the least band it.
You were saying that you got a PC when you were younger. Is that when you started kind of PC gaming, or was it like a wee bit later on when you started gaming the PC?
Probably a bit later on because the PC back then was shite. I don't know
Yeah.
if you ever remember, but it was. I can always remember back then. You used to go to Aston, you used to get the AOL discs to get like an hour of internet. I don't know if you
Aye.
still remember that.
I remember that. Aye.
So there was never really much gaming that happened on the place, the PC then. But further down the line, I did play games, but it was more. I don't know if you remember Mini. Was it Mini Clip in it?
Miniclip,
Miniclip.com?
aye.
Many called the
Aye.
pool and all that.
Aye.
Aye.
Fucking hell.
Obviously, when MSM was a big king, you know what I mean?
Used to play that in school.
Aye.
Yeah, I was always a
That was
football
mainly
manager guy,
that and
championship
Sims,
manager, and that.
probably.
Sims. Aye.
Sims, aye, man.
I thought the first Call of Duty I played on PC.
No,
Yeah.
I never really got any proper FPS until I got my PC. It's not the PC I got now, but I had a PC, like a proper gaming setup for like 6 years. I was roughly around
Right.
about that now anyway. It was mainly just shooters I played, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
So when did you find out about like GTARP?
just we've seen clips on YouTube, but now it was for everybody 95% of the time it's no pixel that you see and you
Yeah.
think that's fucking class. I want to go do that, you know what I mean? Because you know, when you get into it, the first time you get in it, it's completely different for you. I think it's going to be, you know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. So when did you start the GTA roleplay?
Probably, I'd probably say December 2018. I think,
2018.
aye,
Right.
roughly about then, aye.
What server did you land on?
The first ever server I played was a server called USA Realism, and it was only me and one of my other mates. We jumped on and we ended up in the jail, but it was like proper, like they had prison guards and all that, you know what I mean? Like people that actually worked in the prison. I never forget like taking the piss out of some bird in the prison, and she was actually in stitches with how stupid we were acting around her, you know what I mean? Like I proper taking the piss out of her with the
Aye.
Scottish lingo, you know what I mean? And she just couldn't handle it, and she just burst out laughing. She sat there laughing for ages. Probably just used my name, to be honest. You know what? It's just you go in, you're like, right, cool. There's my name, ChrissyDocc. You know what I mean?
It's just ChrissyDocc. Aye. So no backstory on that to him.
No,
Just
not
jump
that.
in.
Just some loony for fucking pleasure.
So did you do a few more servers after that, or
So there's a server that we went to for then when many of my mates get in it. As I said, it was only me and one of my mates that tried it, and then we basically said to them about it, as a lot of people do. It was called Scottish Life Roleplay, which I didn't. It was a good server, but it didn't make sense to me because it was called Scottish Life, but yet it was owned by two English guys, and 95% of the player base were English as well. It it heavy confused me for ages and ages.
Yeah. I
don't
think
know
if I
why.
saw a Scottish roleplay stuff, I'd be expecting to walk into a lot of Glaswegians and a lot of
Exactly.
Scottish people.
I think only there was maybe 3 that I came across in that server that were Scottish, and one of them was actually Gamergasm.
Right.
Was it, aye?
Aye, that's where I met him. Well, came across him.
That's mental, man. So, is that what predominantly started you thinking about getting your own server up and running in because of that?
There was a thing happened in the server. It was basically fucking, you know what it's like with staff and all that shit. But I'm pretty sure we'll get into that anyway. But
Definitely.
basically, there was some sort of announcement went out saying no more stabbings at Legion or people will be banned, right? So I was like, cool, no worries. And then this mod ends up stabbing somebody, and I start scaring man, what do you mean he's just stabbed somebody and all that, you know what I mean? That he's just stabbed him, fucking get rid of him, man, you know what I mean? And then I end up getting banned for graph back. I was like, alright, cool, no worries. And after that, I was just like, no, what, fuck this, man, I'm just going to fucking try and do my own thing. But aye, for there, it just fucking came over as, I guess.
So what was your server's name then? What was
Scotland RP.
Scotland RP. Full of Scottish people?
Yep.
You had to be Scottish, you weren't Scottish, you weren't getting in it?
Aye. Well, there was some English people in there. I don't think, I can't think if there's any English ones that are still around the day. Moose was actually one of them.
Was he, aye?
Aye, Moose was from Scotland.
Moose been about that. I thought I was there before Moose.
No, Moose was there since then. Justin was obviously, I knew Justin before that, just for streams like PUBG and that.
Aye.
Who else? Wee Tonto. He was on there for a wee bit.
Tonto on that run there for that long.
No, they weren't really in there for that long. It was wee Adam as well that's still kicking about. He was in there. Obviously James that's in the staff team. A few people. Can't think it really.
Who helped you with starting the server up? Did you have somebody to help you, or did you do it yourself? Or?
No, it was me and my mate Mikael who started it. He was I would say he was more brainy on me, letting know what he was doing at the time. To me, it was just fucking mumbo jumbo and a laugh. You know what I mean? That's how it started after me. It was a case of fuck other servers, we'll just go make our own server and get a right good laugh. Yeah. And then we used to just sit. There was maybe 6 or 7 of us, and we literally just running about, fucking knocking each other down or that carry on shooting each other with RPGs. You know what I mean? Just getting a right good laugh. And then one night we came on like the next day, and we'd noticed that other people had joined and all that, and then they came back in, and then it just kind of went for there.
So that point, we need to start making rules and all that, man.
aye, that's when all that started. Like, well, okay. And obviously these people had played roleplay before, but they were Scottish or not, so they kind of like helped us and like what's good today and all that, and just built it up for there. You know, so what
just
I mean?
like a proper community right for the start, just like lucky, like a lucky restart.
It was lockdown. I would say lockdown helped a lot. You know what I mean, as well.
Yeah. Everybody stuck in on game and that.
Aye, because everybody's stuck in the house. You know what I mean? So everybody was up all night and all that. Fucking.
Stayed up to 7 in the morning.
Aye, madness, man, honestly.
So do you start your own server? You figure out you get a half decent wee community started. What point you're like, oh, need to start learning coding and all that kind of stuff. Like, where did you learn that? Was it all just YouTube and?
No, it's mainly self-taught and just reading through things. Like, I've always like joined Discords that were like developer Discords and asked people for help and all that. One tip I will give for anybody that is watching this and that wants to make their own server: don't go to the 5M Discord and ask for help, because you'll not get it. You just get rinsed. That was a lesson learned by me. They just rinse you in there. It's just savage. You know what I mean? But it's just getting the heat done. You know what I mean? And like changing things, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then work out what's causing it. You know what I mean?
You've just pretty much self-taught yourself in.
I basically self-taught for the start, but a lot of people have helped me along the way. You know what I mean? But Federino was a big help at first when he came in. I think he came through Justin's stream.
I know he should, didn't he?
Aye, Fed's fucking good, man.
I've watched you, seen you like, if you're streaming in that, and I've seen you. Also, you do that sometimes. Like you go on your stream and you'll do it when you're in the dev server and that. And I'm like,
Aye.
what the fuck is he doing, man? I have no clue what you're doing. I'm like, that was actually quite interesting. It'd be quite good to know how to do it, but I just don't know if I could, to be honest. I probably could if I put my head into it, but
Anybody,
That's
anybody could do it if they put their head into it. I'm far from like a good developer, you know what I mean? I still ask people for help, and like I've only ever really done one full script by myself, and that was a car rental script, which is probably one of these just the more, you know what I mean? But I can like edit a lot of things, but I've never really been able to fully do like a really advanced kind of system, you know what I mean, for it. But
It's still pretty cool, man. Like, it's cool that you on a server, like, you come on just like, oh yeah, let's mess about for you, but you get banned, you go, fuck it, I'm just gonna make my own thing. You make your own thing, just a carry on. A few people come on, and then you decide to have the dedication to go and learn all that. That's fucking awesome, man. Yeah.
Aye, for that to having probably the biggest server in the UK at the minute, man, it's pretty nuts how you've managed to do that.
That is pretty crazy. Like, even like I would probably say, even for like the first, obviously Scotland RP, like there was 3 YouTubers in there. I don't know if you know them, but Batchy, which obviously is probably one of the bigger YouTubers in Scotland, Cruiser and Grant the Grafter. They obviously helped us promote it a lot, and Batchy was like a big help in like putting ideas down. And Batchy actually made the trailer for Scorer, which then he used for an interview to get a job with Rockstar, and they got the job with Rockstar, and he now works for Rockstar doing cinematics.
That's fucking
Crazy,
nuts, isn't it?
It just shows you what things can do for you, yes, isn't it?
That's
How
it,
long?
man.
How long was Scotland RP up for?
In March, I actually remember the actual date, March 26, 2019, and it lasted till when was Scorer made? 2020.
It would have been 2020, I think, because, well, I joined just at the end of 1.0, and I think that was February.
No, wait, no, it would have been 2020. Wasn't March? Wasn't 2019? I'm talking absolute shite. It would have been 2020 because that's obviously when the first lockdown was, wasn't it?
Yeah, because the first lockdown was on the 23rd of March, I think.
Aye, so it was the 26th of March 2020, and then it lasted till September of that same year, and then we rebranded, and then there was discussions going on for like November all the way up to until we made Scorer.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you next. When did you meet Ryan and whoever else was running Cora at that point?
So I think I met Ryan maybe August or September of that year through Justin, because Justin like was jumping between Scotland RP and playing Cora. Because I was at a point where Scotland RP started to die down, and there just wasn't really much there, you know what I mean, anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So like he was obviously trying to keep his stream alive and just jump into like other servers. And he was on there, and but Ryan needed some help with stuff. I think he was needing help with a loading screen one time, and I was giving him some pointers and stuff like that. And he ended up just getting to chatting that stuff, and then basically said to him if you'd be interested in merging and whatever. And he didn't really understand what I meant at the time, but obviously we discussed it and all that shit, and then moving forward. But that obviously just worked out now. But
you have to sit down with Ryan and explain it in fine detail, didn't you?
Aye, it's. But I don't know, man. It was good to like obviously get to meet a lot of other communities. You know what I mean, at the time as well, and like see what everybody was about. But it was chaos. It was so close to just no happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Was it like you taking your stuff and then Ryan and his boys taking their stuff and just merging them all together, or was it like remake it all to make one?
Both staff teams came together, and I think it worked to like 30 odd staff members. And there was like a heavy proper clash of personalities, you know what I mean, and what people wanted and all that stuff. And it just became a fucking nightmare. Everybody was arguing on a daily. Anybody that came with me didn't want to do it with anybody that was in Cora at the time, you know what I mean?
Right.
So nobody wanted to mingle with each other, you know what I mean? Everybody was doing what they knew they'd done before, and they were trying to hold their ground, and that's what we're doing, kind of thing, you know what I mean? It was fucking madness, man, and it melted my brain for so long.
That's crazy, man.
See,
that's crazy. 30 staff, man. 30 staff. So
30.
I'm guessing a lot of them got told to bugger off quite quickly.
Aye.
Did Ryan bring another
Suppose he-
owner across him or anything like that, or was it just you and him?
Aye,
for
there
the
was
start?
no, there was another owner. It was well, you remember Jamie, obviously.
No.
He came across with me, and for Ryan it was Neckles, but Neckles just a fucking arsewipe, to be honest. Everybody knows that.
So what happened to the two? Obviously, Nichols an arsewipe. So, but what's the story with the two? How come they're no longer in the picture?
So obviously Neckles was just an idiot. I demoted him to admin, and then he started all his carry on, you know what I mean, all that pissing around and all that carry on, so he ended up just getting himself removed. Jamie's a good mate of mine, but he had a lot going on at the time, you know what I mean, so I felt it was kind of my turn to step in and just say, listen mate, it's best we just go our separate ways, you know what I mean. He wasn't too happy about it, but I feel I kind of done the right thing at the right time, you know what I mean. It was just me just stepping up and trying to look after him, you know what I mean, because he had a lot of like relationship stuff and that going on, and his job and all that stuff, he was just busy as fuck, you know what I mean.
Aye. See, that must be hard. I'm going to come to that later on, but that must be hard on you and all. But we'll come to that later on.
Right. So obviously, you're from Glasgow, Ryan's from Newcastle. Do you have any concerns about being in a partnership when you're both completely in two different fucking countries, pretty much? And have you ever met him in real life?
So we'll start with obviously meeting in real life. I've never met him in real life. But the thing with it, obviously lived in two different countries, it doesn't really bother me. The two of us know where each other stay anyway. But obviously we can just move it and move somewhere else, and you never track us down, kind of thing. But obviously we have that. There's that mutual respect. There's a big age gap difference as well between me and Ryan. Like Ryan's in his early 20s and I'm 30. You know what I mean? So I was kind of, I'll trust somebody as long as they give the trust back. You know what I mean? And show that they can trust. You know what I mean?
See, when I first met Ryan, I was like, I thought he was older. A lot of people wind Ryan up, like Oyers included. We wind him up. But he's pretty mature for his age, considering obviously his line out of work. This isn't about Ryan, this is about you, but just when you getting into business with him, like I thought he was older than what he was. I didn't realise he was only like, he must have been about 18 or something at the time when you started with him.
He must have, he's either 18 or he just turned 19. But I mean, Ryan does have his immaturities, we all know that, you know what I mean? But that's, we all do, we're all boys at the end of the day, you know what I mean? We're all fucking daft and wild, you know what I mean? But
exactly,
it is what it is, you know what I mean?
So that takes a lot of fucking commitment for you to go into business with an 18-year-old, you know what I mean? Like, because at the end of the day, it's pretty much a business, isn't it? At the end of the day, but that did you have any doubts about that, like his age or anything like that when you were getting into that with him? No.
Nah, it didn't really bother me because it was just, he's here doing his thing, you know what I mean? And he had his respect for me and I had my respect for him, so it didn't really bother me. I mean,
so you just like the dad situation?
Basically, aye, you can call it that if you want. Aye,
you have to look after him.
Aye, I mean, at the end of the day, the respect was there, you know what I mean, and the trust was there, so it's a case of.
That's the two main things for business, isn't it? You know, respect and trust, 100%.
Aye, exactly. Aye.
They're both known as Mammy and Daddy now when there's a wee argument going on. Mammy and Dad's arguing still.
So, obviously, you start off 1.0 scorer, starts to get some traction. 2.0 makes it really, really big. 3.0 has been a success so far. Where do you see Scorer going next?
So there is plans for Scorer. They are currently in the works. I'm pretty sure if people have checked any of the announcements that I've put out, they would have seen some of the stuff that's been done. Not by me, it's by somebody else, it's the guys that we work with. But there will be another iteration coming. I don't have an official date, so I won't say, but coming soon.
Right. So 4.0 is coming soon.
Mm-hmm. Big announcement. Big
announcement on the chat and OOC.
Yeah.
There we go.
So, obviously, you've said how long you've been up and all that for. So, got to Davey now. We can't have a conversation about Davey. How did that come about? How did you know you wanted to start with Davey's thing?
I don't know whether well, I know where it came from, right? But I don't know what made me want to do it that way. I just found like, it was at that time when the Navy Vines, Vines it was at the time, well, it popped them off, you know what I mean, with the free bent tossing and then the Indian Scottish guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just thought it'd be a laugh just to make a character and just run about taking the piss, and then it kind of just whirled on for there, you know what I mean? And Jamie made the Tony sing, and he was my brother, and then
No.
Federino made one Mohammed sing, and he was like a cousin, you know what I mean? It was just fucking carnage, just running about as Indian Scottish people, you know what I mean?
And then you had Ryan Singh just running about, fucking still his Newcastle accent.
Ryan Singh the Geordie.
Class.
Did your missus, when you're sitting in here, kidding on you or Davey Singh, go like, what are you doing, man? Like, shut the fuck up.
The amount of times that door's so little, Matt, you shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that as well.
So the bit, sorry, with Chad, I didn't want to. That was a terrible accent, that's why.
I don't know if, Chrissy, you've ever seen Chad. The Mad American. In fact, you have. She was jail me one night, Will. You and Tadger, I think.
Aye.
Mad American, yeah. How I do, man.
Remember the first time he came up to me with that accent, and I was like, nah, stop that. Stop that right now. That's terrible. So the original cast, the sings was Jamie and Federino, yourself, Davey. When did Eddie come in?
Eddie came into it when we opened up the mechanic shop, and then Andre came into it as well. I think we're a bit alongside that because we wanted to like kind of be the big boys in the city. Although like when I'm in the city, I don't make myself look I'm the owner kind of thing. I don't want to be like that, and very often I very rarely want to be like the big boy in the city kind of thing.
Yeah.
But a lot of people seem to come across me as that, and a lot of people know who it is, and the pure like pussyfoot round about me. I don't like that, but it fucking irritates the life out of me. But that was just the whole vibe around that, was just try to establish like a big fucking gang and show like set an example for other gangs and how things can actually be if you go about it the right way, you know what I mean? Regardless of what your status is within the actual server, you know what I mean?
See what you're saying on that, right? I remember the first time, obviously I got easy with Teddy and Barry and all that, and Barry was kind of speaking to Ryan and he got in with using all that. See, the first time I ever came across you, it was when you had the old Sings garage. Remember? Just
first one?
and Teddy showed the first garage. And I was like, I was a wee bit taken back. I was like, I don't know, will I go and say all right? Well, I know. I didn't know what to say. I wasn't sure. And then when I ended up saying hello to you once or something like that, and you were, it was brand new ever since then, been brand new. So I do get why people like, maybe tiptoe around about it, but yeah, there's no need for it.
And there's even people that didn't know who we were at the time, even regardless of like our titles as owners or whatever, or the admin. And they said the first time they ever came across us, it was like so scary for them because it was just like, there was kind of like that sort of aura around it, you know what I mean? And it was fucking madness.
Sing Gang was the biggest gang in the city, wasn't it? Like for long enough until probably Vagos came in.
Definitely.
I'd probably say Sing Gang was, and then at that point, obviously the Sing Gang was starting to kind of break up because 2.0, 3.0 was getting made, so you weren't in the city as much. And then you decided to go on to my next question. So Davey Singh ends up going to jail for a long time. Why did you decide to do that? What was the story leading up to it?
The story leading up to it was just that I started losing the plot. The VOD is no longer there. I don't know why Twitch took my VOD down, but it always on the VOD. The whole thing was just, I was just getting fed up with it, really. Like, no fed up with it. I just didn't have the time for it. And I didn't want to leave it just sitting there and everybody's wondering, oh, where's Davey kind of thing, you know what I mean? He's not been about in ages. So if you create a story, then people know that's where he is kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? Nobody needs to ask any questions. It was just the whole thing was just, it started going mental, getting paranoid about people stealing money for like the garage and all that stuff. And it just all blew up for there, you know what I mean?
Was it like, if taking it away from the character side of things, did you think that you just needed a break away from him, or was getting too much obviously in Tapperdine, like running the server and that? Did that sway your decision on?
It was a bit to do with that. I just didn't really have the time to be on that character, you know what I mean? Like I could jump on and do PD for 1 or 2 years, but if I was to jump onto that, a lot of the time, all of the things that would happen, obviously robbing stuff, going after people, you know what I mean? Like chasing people, doing things like that, hunting for them, sitting waiting, and people appearing at places, trying to like poach them out, you know what I mean? It was just that took a lot more time than what I maybe jump on PD for an hour or 2, you know what I mean? And just spend a bit of time on there.
What's your PD character's name?
Douglas.
Douglas. I met him a couple of times.
I get to see that. Do you know what? I feel so bad, right? And I'll say this, and I apologise to Justin for this because I made that character when Justin got his dog taken off him. And it wasn't even intentional. It was meant to be like, obviously the name Douglas, but split into 2. You know what I mean?
Right, the exact same day.
Aye, but obviously Justin had that issue with the dog in the police, you know what I mean? And I made that character, and he's like, "I right, no bother, Chrissy, what he's doing that for? Fucking trying to get the piss, Douglas."
Fantastic.
So it's one of those ones you kind of go, "What are you talking about?" Oh fuck!
Aye, I was trying to think. Not everybody always makes up the mad like funny names, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Harry Boss like that.
Stuff. Aye, things like that. Aye. It was just one of the ones I was just trying to get something that went kind of rhymed, kind of not really rhyme, but just something people won't forget.
I had a play on it.
See on that with your PD character. It was am I right in your Gold Command 1 when you were running PD in that?
I was PD.
What made you then go, oh no, wait a minute, I'm going to step away for this because you're doing it as a Silver Command now?
I'm Silver Command now, aye, Sergeant, aye.
So
I gave myself that role, like, when I passed the range on the McTadger, I gave myself that role. I just decided where I wanted to be, but I just thought I'd just slot myself in the middle somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just let them run it. It was just because even for Scotland RP all the way right through, right up till right in the scorer, I'd done PD for like that amount of time. I'd done more PD than what I did actual like Crimside and Davy Singh. You know what I mean? Because the PD was needing numbers. And I just needed a break out of it, you know what I mean? Because I've been basically running PD all the way through across basically the 2 servers at the time, you know what I mean? It just get too much for me. I just need a break out of PD.
I generally didn't know that you ran PD. I didn't know that.
Aye, so I know.
No, I've only remembered McTadger. I didn't know that you ran PD. Start.
I knew. I only found out about 3. Well, to tell you the truth, I found out about a week before you actually handed it out to McTadger. I'd obviously seen you on PD on it. I just always seen because McTadger done most of all the training side things, and he was the one that was always people blah that's McTadger, this blah blah blah. But you were never in people's faces or anything like that. But no saying it.
I did hold some meetings and stuff like that. The only time I was really there was. No time really turned up was doing meetings and giving out bonuses. McTadger, because obviously McTadger was second to me at the time, and obviously he was the one that had to. They didn't have to move up, but I just thought, why not? Because we all know McTadger's PD character's fucking amazing. You know what I mean? There's a funny moments video. It's mainly just me and him.
Just talking shit.
Aye, just taking the piss on. Just man, stupid, weird. Like, you might watch it and you think, what a pile of shite. Like even it's a lot. Maybe Scottish people understand it more because it's more kind of Scottish humour.
Yeah,
but for an English person to watch it, they'd be like, "What's this shit?" You know what I mean? It's just crap.
That's like Mason.
A lot of the moments for me, I find it more funny because I was there and understood what was going on in that moment. Some of it is when you watch back and you see it, you think that's not really that funny, but it's just in that moment it was actually funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
I remember the 3 years, I think it was you, Tadger and Federino, caught me up at the airfield one night, and I think it was before I joined PD with Roberto, and you absolutely ripped me a new one, man. I was stunning. I couldn't say anything. You were just filing away everything, all the insults of the day. I'm having a laugh, obviously, I couldn't say anything. The part was too good, man. I was like, no way. I was just laughing all the way through it. Up until I got sent away, man. All the way for Sandy, all the way down to PD and PD in the cells. Just absolutely ripping us, man.
Even to this day, I dare to see when I'm chasing people and all that. But you hear the officers behind me. Like, I'll always dare to have a laugh. I'm on PD. I'm never serious, and a lot of the time I'll make a fuck up, and people start laughing about it. There was a case the other day where I was actually chasing somebody. I'm shouting, "Fucking stop, you wee fanny! I'll fucking get you." You know what I mean? Just pure taking the piss. I'm fucking catching you, and then he started on that. Obviously, he's probably know he's in a chase when the PD will like change it for like a lower DRA to like critical DRA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously, as the more the driving gets more reckless, so driving was really reckless at this point, and the boy was doing 105 mile an hour, and I pitied him, and he hit the wall and came flying out of the car. And that was it. The toys were at the pram. And I ended up in the cells, and I'm like, mate, you just need to take the L, mate. Just take the L. It's as simple as that. Sometimes you just got to take the L. And he's like, right, cool, no worries, mate, and just left it at that.
Wait, 105, like, 105's not that bad. You know, it's different when you're going 155.
Sometimes, and I've been there myself, like, you need to take the L, but it's hard to take sometimes. Like, I don't care who you are, everybody's been had so good at one point. But you do need to. You do need to take your eye on now and again, man. It comes with it. Like, you can't always get the win.
Exactly.
It seems to be the story of this podcast. Every week we talk about you have to take the L. You have to take the L. I wish we just talk.
I fucking hate that gif. Seeing people post that gif to take the L thing, it's like the Fortnite dance of the wee stupid guy. Where's my blood, man?
So we'll go back to Davey for a wee second. So Davey goes to the jail for a long time. You bring Stevie into this city. Did you miss this in character? Because I always felt with Stevie, it never really clicked for you. You just kind of came in and messed a bit and then buggered off.
That is me, so I don't know. I don't know. And I think that was, when Davey went to jail, it was me. I was at that point where I didn't really want to play much. I just couldn't really be arsed getting on, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had all the ideas of what I wanted to do. I wanted to run PDM, and I wanted to do this, and I wanted to do that. And I did do it for a bit when we were doing the import stuff, with people were importing their cars, and I was actually delivering the car to them, but I was doing it at a casino through a wee container thing.
Right, okay, that's pretty cool.
I done that for a bit, but I was never in for like.
I remember that actually.
Time, you know what I mean? As I specifically bought just a wee container with a couch and a telly on it in it and a desk and that carry on inside it.
I actually came and got a car off you for that.
I don't know. I didn't miss Davey so much, like in that sense, but I always did. The plan always was to bring him back.
Yeah,
but maybe not quite in the capacity that's in just now. It was to slowly whittle it in and kind of get as if he's getting his feet back under the carpet kind of thing. But it was the way we done it was the way it actually worked out was actually really good because it was just straight into it again and straight in about it. You know what I mean?
That's it. Davey's back now. He's obviously done that the 3 streams and the teaser kind of video with us, which was awesome. It was brilliant, man.
It was good how it all panned it.
Aye. So Davey comes back. What's the plans for him in the Eastern Connections?
Keeping the fucking gangs in check and making sure they start doing what they're supposed to be doing. We have a lot of plans. We wanted to do some stuff the other day to them, which was just blueprint stuff for like crafting, because we want to open up crafting and stuff like that a lot more to others. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because obviously we don't want to like pure be seen as copying what you guys done. You know what I mean? So we're just gonna try to switch it up and let gangs, no horde gangs back so much. Right? We're not saying you were holding them back, but some of them were moaning that they were being held back. You know what I mean? But a lot of the time in a public server, obviously what we were then, there's that concern that people just abusing things and just random people coming in.
Yeah, the fine line.
But now that we're whitelisting, we're getting into whitelist properly, and it's becoming a lot more stable now anyway. you need to have that trust in the player base, you know what I mean? So that season before, maybe it's just time to let them, give them that something,
Give them a
see how it
chance.
goes. And if it goes to tits, then that's it. You know what I mean? We'll
At
take
least you
it
can
back.
say you've
you know?
tried, At least you've
Aye,
said,
so
well,
they
we
told you
gave
so,
the
isn't it?
chance.
Aye.
Because we are at, it was like, people are never going to, with us they were moaning, we use that they're moaning, so there's always going to be that certain amount of people that are going to moan about things. It's always going to
Yep.
happen.
Soft skis,
Oh, we packet of jellies.
Sorry, it's
Jelly Ranchers.
on the phone in me.
Uh,
It's on the phone in me.
aye, so you're always you're always going to have people that are going to moan. So no matter what you do, it's always going to be that way. You're not going to please everybody. But that's the way we had it. There's like people were moaning for some things. You were like, there's nothing we can do. It's just the way it's going to be.
Aye.
But you're always going to have that, aren't you?
That's the thing, mate. You know what I mean? Everybody's always going to have their say on something, you know what I mean?
Right.
Whether they like it or whether they don't like it, you know what I mean? It's the fucking world we live in these days, I guess.
Oh, exactly.
Well, at the end of the day, when you got 4,000 people on the Discord, it's 100 people. Is 100 people cap at the moment?
I put it up to 110 last night.
110 cap.
Aye.
There's always, it doesn't matter what you do, there's always going to be one person dislikes it or thinks it's wrong. So you just need to roll with the punches, you know, taking the chin.
That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't always
So,
go for them.
so what's the box, Chrissy? What you watching? What TV shows you watching? What movie? What's the last movie you watched? Like, give some information.
I don't
on it.
watch a lot of movies.
No, you're not a movie guy.
No movie guy. I'm very a documentary, crime kind of. I don't like all the. I don't really like your CSI and all that stuff. I just prefer the more kind of real shit. You know what I mean?
Please.
Mainly documentaries, I would say. The new Me and the Missus are watching, I think, on YouTube. With that Alaska State Troopers. I don't know how we ended up coming across it, to be honest, but it's actually been pretty enjoyable, you know what I mean?
What's
So
that?
Alaska's actually one place that we want to go to, you know what I mean, and visit.
Yeah.
Aye.
So what's that last? Like, is it just like the kind of place?
It's about
just-
the police, the police in Alaska, and basically the sort of stuff that they have to deal with, like mad steamers and all that, that'll just peer out their face, running about with guns and shit, you know what I mean?
Fucking crazy out there, isn't it, man?
Sounds like Glasgow.
Aye.
You ever seen the Alaskan bush people?
No, I think I've seen that.
You
No.
need to watch that. That's on. You'll get that on Discovery. It's funny, but it's good, but it's funny as well. It's like a family and they live in the forest. They end up making this wee town called Browntown. That's their name, Brown. The Browns.
Right.
But it's in Alaska, and you should see it. It's nuts. You got a guy called Bear. One of the sons is called Bear, and all he does is climb trees and all that. It's fucking madness, man. honestly, it's good, but it is quite enjoyable to watch. They've got
I just finished Dexter there, so I was just watching the third season of Afterlife, that Ricky Gervais one. Yeah, it's
I
just,
don't watch that. But one movie I do want to see is a new Jackass. That looks
right.
amazing.
That's
Jackass.
it next week, isn't it? Is it next week?
It was just shoot the other day. I think, you know, I might be wrong. Positive was it the other day, and I'm tripping.
but we'll talk about that last night. It'd be good to go and see that. Well, I can't anyway. I've got the vid, but when I'm free, I'm going to go and see it. Man, because
We should have told you, Chris, to wear your mask because
I've got COVID, man.
he's got the COVID, so you better watch it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get too close to the screen.
But aye, fucking Jackass is brilliant, man. But that's what we were saying. We're not sure if it's going to be like the same as fucking. Nothing's ever the same, is it?
How long has it been?
Since the last one?
Yeah. So it'll be like 15 years or something like that.
Aye, easily.
I'll go grey hair.
And then you got Bam Margera, who's like, he's no in it. Obviously, the other guy passed away, and
Ryan Dunn.
size.
All the things he's done.
The thing with Bam Margera was, I think he was like a really bad place. So what I watched his stuff with Steve and that, he apparently was in a really, really bad place. But he wasn't. Carry on, they've been through, man.
I was say that. You'd have to
That must
be
be a bad place. The amount of downs he gave his dad.
Well, that's. I think they were asking him to do a piss test every day on set, and he said not yet, and that's why they wouldn't let him on. And he had a whole thing about it, said he was going to sue them and all that.
I don't. You can't really, can if he's refusing to take fucking piss tests and that? There's a
I
reason.
think
they're
it's
not getting
because
it?
he's saying that he is a creative part of Jackass and this, that, and the others. Yeah.
So apart from obviously running scorer and all that, do you have any hobbies? Obviously, I know you're a big Celtic fan, not myself, but do you have any other hobbies apart from gaming and stuff?
Not really, no. When I was younger, I like my motors, but I don't have the money to be fucking about the motors. When I was younger, I was maybe like a motorbike kind of boy, you know what I mean?
No.
Thinking about the streets and the motocross bikes and all that stuff with my pals, you know what I mean?
Are you with that guy? Sitting trying to watch the telly.
Aye. I was into all that when I was younger, like kicking about the fields and all that stuff on the motorbikes and flying up and down the streets and stuff. But apart from that, there was never really anything else that I done, you know what I mean? Like football, aye, but that's about it.
It's predominantly Scotland's football, and it's if you see somebody that don't like football, you're like, oh, that.
Aye.
Aye, I know,
You know, like football? You talking about? I'm just going on to the motorbike.
I feel like rugby are a bit weird.
Aye. And a Tory.
Tennis.
Aye, that too. Yeah.
I'm looking there, like, I'm going to watch tennis. Aye, fuck off. Just on the motorbike thing, I done my CBT and done it on the fucking manual and all that. Went out. And I swear to God, you should have seen the nick of this thing I got. At the time, Barry and all that, he had a Harley, I think, at the time. And I'd got a wee fucking mad moped thing. A wee 125 moped. Going along London Road, and this is a true story as well. Going along London Road, I worked in Wiseman's at the time. And see the bit at the Real McCoy, just outside Parkhead, you know what I'm talking about?
I know you're talking
On
about
the corner, there's 2 lanes there. I was on the outside lane, going along straight on, and this cunt cut out right in front of us, man. I had to fucking fell off it. I was like, oh, not again, man. Never going on a motorbike not off again. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Not a
I
chance.
came off a motorbike. I think it was about 60, 70 mile an hour. I think it was. It was one of my mates' bikes years ago. Gave me a shot in the graveyard. There was a graveyard where I used to stay. There's a graveyard just through the back. So when that way, he's like, jump up the graveyard. I'll give you a wee shot on my bike. We jumped up there. I could go back. I've been going bikes for years at this point, but I started speeding up, and then there was a wee pothole in the ground, and I tried to miss the pothole, but I hit it, and then hit like a speed wobble, so the steering wheel's like shaking. The handlebars are shaking left to right, and I'm trying to correct it, and then before you know it, I'm sliding along the ground at fucking 70 mile an hour. But I didn't have a helmet on. I was 100% I was dead. Because I had a cut in my nose. I don't know how. I was wearing the helmet with the visor down, but I had a cut on my nose, right on the forefront of my nose there, and I never understood how that cut go there. Like,
If you went a visor, aye.
I
had the visor on it. The visor didn't smash it, and then I had it's weird. I don't know how I got that cut go there, but it was fucking madness.
Well, the visor up a wee tiny wee bit, the stones come up and just collect you or something.
Probably.
I've only ever been on a bike once, and it was my other pal Barry who had a Harley, and he let me be bitch in the back of it.
Be bitch.
He jumped on the motorway, and I've never shit myself so much in my life. I was just like, he's like 100 mile an hour. I'm like,
I see,
fucking bear hugging him, man.
It's different being on the back of a motorbike compared to like actual driving it, because when you're driving it, you know you've got to control it, but you're just sitting there either hanging on to, like, for me, a Harley, a lot of them hang on to the back of it, I don't know what you call that, but sometimes they have that bit that goes up at the back that you hang on to, or you're obviously you're holding them on the side, do you know what I mean? No. So that's what you've got to hold on to, you know what I mean?
I wasn't holding the side, mate. I had a full grip, mate. I was like, I was shitting myself. But no, man, fuck that.
Being on the back of something was just no nice, man. I remember taking a chase years ago, when we were on a quad. My 2 mates were steaming, and they phoned us. They're like, I'm on it in the quad. I don't even know why I even went out, mate. It was like 10 o'clock at night. And we ended up going for Mary Hill all the way down to Byers Road, and ended up getting chased after 2 Polish motors. But there was 3 on this quad. So my mate up the front driving it, my other mate's in the middle, and I'm on the back, basically sitting on the back handlebar at the back. It was like a square handlebar. And then the Polish had actually rammed into the backies and bent that bar, and the bar bent down, and I was actually sitting on the exhaust, and I burnt my arse cheek. Driving for about 20 minutes, and my arse cheek was just cooking on the exhaust. To this day, I never know why I actually went out. like just
It's one of
random.
those things,
Just
man.
probably just bored. Fuck it.
It's like, fuck it, why not? Why not? well, Chris, we're coming to the best part of the day. It's Ryan's quick fire questions. So Ryan is going to ask you some questions, answer them as fast or slow as possible.
Cool.
And I'm going to ask you, this first question I'm going to ask you, right? Don't do what fucking Major done last week and think we're talking about like when you're cleaning yourself. So the first one is toilet paper over or under. When I say that, I mean on the wall.
Under.
And under.
Ooh. Second one is, if you could pick one character from Scorer to be stranded on a desert island with, who would it be and why?
Probably Gramps, because he's got a lot of thoughts. Not a lot of thoughts, a lot of good ideas, is the best. Sorry, a lot of good ideas, and I think he'd come up with a good survival plan.
That's a good answer, by the way.
It's a good answer. I like that.
Next one is, if you could have one superpower, what would it be and why?
That's a hard one, that, by the way.
Aye. But you don't want to say invisibility because you look like a creep, you know what I mean?
You got me there, to be quite honest with you.
Right, I'll move on for that one. I'll let you think about that and come to that one at the end. If there's one thing you could change about Scorer, what is it and why?
Probably would have went whitelist for the get-go if I could. And the reason why is because a lot of fucking peasants come for the public side of things. There's a lot of weirdos.
Right, 100%.
But they like to control that a bit better.
Right, next one. Having a lot of staff, right? Does it bother you when they either leave or you have to let them go? Does it bother you?
No.
No?
No. One thing I hate though is when you tell a staff that you're removing them and they turn it back on you and try and blame you for it.
Aye.
That's one thing that annoys me with that. But if people leave and all that, I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
It genuinely doesn't bother me.
Is it hard but like having to tell people like yeah?
It's hard, aye.
You know, because you're pretty much firing somebody. You know, it's kind of like firing somebody. Or I wouldn't say breaking up with somebody, but it's kind of the same kind of lines in it. Like it's the same. Must be hard to
honest,
get to that point.
I'll tell you the two hardest for me was Jamie and Mike Tadger.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Ben.
Oh.
Oh.
They would know Mike Tadger. Did you see when you're saying to them, like, you're not saying it in to see, but I'm going to be honest with you, like, I've probably not done as much as what I should have done. But
Fire him.
Hi, I'm super. Tell me right now.
Live in the podcast. Fire him now.
The hardest stuff I have to say is McTaggart and you, Ryan, you're fired. Beat it. No, the reason I wanted to ask that was because also you develop a lot of friendships with people, and I think McTaggart was also one of them. Just because you elaborated on it, I wasn't going to say who, but you said that there, so he was one of them. Does it ever ruin that friendship? Like, obviously with people.
I think with me and Jamie it did. Jamie didn't really take it too well. I'm aware that Jamie doesn't have a PC anymore, but whether they watch us or no, I'm still your mate, Jamie, so don't worry about it. But I don't know, man. With Jamie, it was a bit different. I didn't really like it. I think he kind of thought I was shitting over the top of me, you know what I mean? When I just kind of tried to do the right thing for him, but
it's not just that. You've got to think about the server as well, and you've got to think about something you and Ryan's trying to run. So you've got to think about
that too, aye. Definitely that too.
Please don't fire me. Yeah. Anyway, in fact, I'll go back to that one. Superpower one. Before I
think of it, to be honest, she knew when I think back, I think of it, being able to slap somebody through a monitor but somebody on the other side of a call. But like simply because ages, not maybe you're sitting in like chats and stuff like that, and people just like one thing that really irritates me, right? And I'm not the smartest person in the world, right? I'm far fucking from it. But it's people that act stupid or act like dumb when they aren't really. You know what I mean? When you know fine well that they're pretty smart, but they act fucking like so daft and so idiotic. It really fucking irritates the life out of me. That's why a lot of people probably say that I sound angry, because when people just say stupid things, it fucking irritates me so much. You know what I mean? It's just why the man's just wish you just put your hand through the monitor and say, here, take that, slap.
As soon as you say that, I just had like an imagination and I just happened to somebody for the first time. Like, what the fuck has happened?
Have you ever seen Carol? What's it called again? Carol Pilkington.
Aye.
I read it abroad, and he does that one. He gets asked that question. And he says, "You'd love to be bullshit, man." He can just fly.
Bullshit.
People say bullshit. Guy's class, man. Honestly,
He's fucking hilarious. So, Chris, I've just got one more thing to ask you now, and it's just to plug all your socials.
I'm not going to dox myself with my socials, but for everybody, Score a Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
What about your personal Twitch?
All the same handle. Personal Twitch is ChrissyDocc with 2 C's.
Chrissy, mate, thank you very much. That's all the questions we have for you today, mate.
Thanks for coming on, mate.
I appreciate you coming on, man. Yeah, good laugh, man. It's been a good laugh. Maybe at some point we'll get the other half one. You know what I mean? Get Ryan on at some point.
Well, winding Ryan up.
Ryan's only ever been on camera once when I've seen Ryan. He's only ever been on camera once. I used to be at camera try, but so you might know.
Yeah. I'm trying, mate. I'm trying. We keep saying no, but I'm just gonna keep bugging him. He said he would do it if he could put a filter on his face. I was like, you can be a strawberry or something if you want. I don't give a fuck. Just come on.
He usually done that in the staff chat, Ryan. You know there. He done that.
I done that.
It'd be strawberry.
I mean, I was winding on. I was like, you must be one ugly cunt or something. And just, no, I'm not doing it. Not doing it. Not doing it. Look at the state of me, do you know what I mean? Teddy said to me what I did, and I was like, aye, fucking damn right, fuck it. Don't give a fuck what people say.
It's all fun and games, mate. We're just here.
Slag more you want, mate, but straight to my face or slap you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right through the fucking monitor.
Class.
Oh, mate, thank you very much for coming on, man.
Aye, cheers, mate.
Appreciate it, boys.
Bye.
See you in it. Bye.
Catch you, man. Right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have time for today. Thank you very much for watching. Next week's guest is going to be Just Justin. I'll be back on Monday, 8 PM. Don't miss it. My name's Teddy.
My name's Ryan.
And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.